from today's most infamous underground artists. As always, I'm your host CJ, and I'm here to help you get through the night shift. Our next song is a strange little number. Here's Ultra...
A few months ago, I played a video game called Things Too Ugly as a demo. It was actually within one of my first videos ever for this channel, and I loved it. I loved it so much that it's one of those demos that I had been looking forward to the full release and was fully expecting to pay for and review the full release on my own. However, the developers of the game liked my review so much that they reached out and offered me to do another review and gave me the game for free. So this is a follow-up review for Things Too Ugly. A couple of notes before we get into it. None of the footage that you're seeing is my own, and I can't talk about the game past a certain point. I like to be very clear about that, because mostly I'm just going to be talking about the mechanics and the things that I liked within the first maybe hour of the game. So jumping right in, something that stayed the same, and that's fine. Not everything has to change just because I don't like it, especially when it comes to a demo and then the full game coming out within, like, what was it, 6 months? Incredible. The camera movement is a little wonky for me. I don't know how often you'll see it here, but there's just moments where you're trying to move between two different sections and the camera like gets stuck, or you can't zoom in properly, because when you zoom in it goes straight down and it doesn't go straight down, and then you have the ability to move around on the things that you're zoomed into. So if it's not directly in front of you, if you zoom in, you cannot focus on it. That bothered me, but not so much to take me out of the world that we were in. I just figured, like, okay, this is the camera. This is the camera that we are using. Maybe the person behind the camera that we're playing as is behind a screen and is doing all of this remotely, and it's a robot. I don't know. There's so many different ways that I could have taken the who is the character.
Hey, you awake in there? I know. The transition to the night shift can be tough, but I'm sure you'll adjust in time. Everyone does. Or we hire another. Listen, we're going to work through a new stack of incident files and see how the updated software works. R&D says they've rooted out the bugs in the query system, so the data you input should better model past incidents. We'll see, I guess. I'll review each report as it comes through. You go ahead and get logged in, then begin processing the first file. The night courier dropped off 5, but don't rush. Remember, accuracy is extremely important if we're to prevent incidents of a similar nature. Okay, I'll leave you for a bit. Talk soon.
And I think a lot about who is the character, especially after having beaten it. Who is the person that we are playing as? And you will come to find this a lot too. I think that that's a beautiful thing. The other thing to note here, just in terms of gameplay and mechanics, that I noticed was that sometimes there were moments where I got stuck and there were no guides because I have the game early, and there were no hint buttons or anything to look towards. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in a puzzle game. I like when games don't handhold. I've said that before on this channel, but I'm also witless. And so there were definitely times where the game didn't feel clear enough and I had to reach out to the developer, specifically one time, And I know they'll watch this, and I know that they'll know the exact moment where I was just like, hey, and I was very nice about it, but I was like, hey, I got stuck here, and I don't know why I got stuck here, because the game is pretty straightforward with the puzzles. It's hard, but it's straightforward. This doesn't make sense to me. And they helped me out. I think that in puzzle games, it's very difficult to make something that is both difficult and here is the solution, it's in front of you and it has been in front of you all along. This game balances that really well, except for this one puzzle, and I really enjoyed the playthrough once I solved that puzzle, but I definitely got stuck on that one puzzle and I kid you not, at the time, not at the time of recording, of course, but at the time of when I was recording the video gameplay that you're not seeing, I think I had 85 or 90 minutes of gameplay, and maybe 45 or 50 of them was just me sitting at that puzzle and saying, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And while that is frustrating, it was mostly a me not wanting to concede to the fact that I needed to reach out and ask for help. So I don't blame the game for that. And you, darling viewer, when you watch, you will, or when you play the game, you will 100% have guides, because other people will have played it and put out their guides. So good for you. That instantaneous satisfaction of how do I solve this puzzle? Oh, it's on the internet.
You're listening to It Came From the Ether, eclectic sounds from today's most infamous underground artists. As always, I'm your host CJ, and I'm here to help you get through the night shift. Our next song is a strange little number. Here's Ultrasonica by the Sundogs.
I was brought back to a time around the time period that this game is set in, where you had to go to a store and buy a guide or call a hotline or suffer, and that actually made me happy that I didn't have full access to a guide anywhere on the internet for this puzzle. A little bit about the story. The story is phenomenal. I can't talk about it, but you saw in the demo that I solved case file 1. Well, case file 2 gets even more intense. You're watching it in the background right now, somewhere, and it's really phenomenal. And it just keeps going from there. Things just keep happening that I can't talk about, but I recommend it. The story is worth it. It's meant to be experienced in one sitting, and while that didn't happen for me, again, because I had to quit the game and then go back and do it a second time, it will probably happen for you. So I recommend sitting down on a nice evening. It's like a 3-hour experience, probably a little less if you're good at puzzles, unlike me, and just having fun digging into this world that I honestly wish there was more of.
Hi all, CJ here. If you're anything like me, then you know how hard it can be to find a truly good mechanic. Just a few weeks ago, my car was making the most hideous ka-clunk, ka-clunk, ka-clunk sound. I know, right? Well, the folks over at Nelson's sure made light work of it, and at a fair price, too. Need service, repairs, or new tires? Head to Nelson's, just off Route 3 in Chester. I hope you enjoyed that tune from the Sundogs as much as I did. They're such a fun band to see live. I highly recommend you catch them in St. Louis in July. Next, we've got Cloudfall, the latest single from Mooncreeper.
One more thing that I'd like to say that bothered me, but not in a bad way, was just the radio. It isn't a long enough section to have a radio, almost, and I hate to say it that way, but there were 3 songs, maybe 4, I think it was only 3, and there was a bunch of cute, like, interstitials, and I really liked all of that, but there was definitely, like, when it repeated, I was like, oh, it's repeating. That sucks. It's only been like 12 minutes. And again, like, this is definitely one of those things where, like, there could have been multiple radio stations playing multiple types of music, and even like a talk radio, and I know that would have been a lot to put together, especially because it seems like there was a quick turnaround for the second, maybe not the second half of the game, because the demo was probably already, when they put out the demo, it was probably already pretty close to done, but, you know, I would have liked to have seen other types of music, and that's not even me being like, why isn't my music in the game? No, I'm not saying that. I said that when I reviewed the demo as kind of a joke, but now I'm saying I would have liked to have just seen a whole bunch of, even if it was royalty-free music. Ugh, everyone hates that, but even if it was...
We're going to take a short break, but don't go away. Keep it tuned to 95.5 for more It Came From the Ether, eclectic sounds from today's most infamous underground artists.
Good evening, Southern Illinoisans, Eastern Missourians, and you few Northern Kentuckians who may be listening. The current temperature at the studio is 52 degrees. 54 in Carbondale, 53 in Sparta, 53 in St. Genevieve. We've got a light breeze out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour and clear skies. The high for tomorrow will be 68, with a 40% chance of thunderstorms, some severe, late in the day and into tomorrow night. You're listening to 95.5 WKRZ.
Welcome back. Next up, we've got a deep cut from the latest album by Albatross. Some of you may recognize this song from Maritime, which was released just last month. Check it out if you haven't already. It Came From the Ether brings you On Still Plains.
I would have liked it better because there would have at least been more to find and other radio stations. But again, it's a small project, and I can't complain too much about that. I really liked the music that was in it. Whoever did the music, I didn't actually look.
All right. That one seemed pretty standard. Let's see. On my end, it looks like Verify is working correctly. No errors in the console. Clean report. A-OK. Not that I can actually tell you what's in the report. I mean, we can't even share our names. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, so to speak. I think... Yeah, I've heard of this incident. Or a version of it, at least. The version printed in the paper. I probably shouldn't elaborate, but I will say this. The Daily Eagle and the Verify report differ on a few key details. Funny how that works, huh? Okay. Move on to the next file when you're ready. I'll check in later.
Great job. It might have actually been multiple bands, but it really felt like it was the work of one person trying to do multiple bands type genre stuff for ambient electronic sounds. I really liked it. At the end of the day, my score doesn't change here from the last time that I reviewed it, which is, Now comes the part where I would insert that if I had that, but I don't have that on me right now, and I'm not in a place where I can get it. But let's say it was 8 clamshells out of 10. I think that it was a really solid little adventure, and I really enjoyed going through and digging into this world. I'm hoping for more small independent puzzle games like this. This is what I look for this channel, so I genuinely enjoyed it, and I genuinely hope for more like it. Anyway, I hope you like this little off-the-cuff, kind of off-the-top-of-my-head review. I was gonna write a script, and then that felt, as I was writing it, very disingenuine to what I wanted to get across, because I kind of just wanted to sit down with a mic and say, what are the thoughts in my head about this game? Because I beat it, and I really love it, and I also have some gameplay issues with it, and that's okay, because all games have issues, and that shouldn't turn you away from wanting to play it. How do I say to you, the viewer, go play this game and have it be fun? So I hope that my little ramblings were a little bit fun, and that you've enjoyed whatever footage that they sent me to put in the background here. I'm your Witless Principal. I'm hoping to have another video out this month. It's looking unlikely, but I try. If you like what I do and you want more of it, leave a like because that helps me. I genuinely enjoy getting likes and comments on videos because they're like, I don't know, they're the thing that continue to motivate me to make things, because this is very much a side hobby passion channel. Anyway, go play this game. It comes out literally tomorrow. This is coming out on the 15th. The game comes out on the 16th. Go play it, and I will see you in the next lesson.
So this is strange. I've got a message in the console, but it's not one known to verify.